Greetings, sir. Welcome to Megas of Nepal.
Thank you.
Tell me about yourself. How do you connect with Megas of?
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share my experience with the banking industry of Nepal. Basically, I am a banker. I have been in the banking industry for the last 35 years. I myself is a banker. I worked with one of the leading multinational banks of the world called the Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation. I was part of that bank with the Indian operations for 25 years. Thereafter, I had taken early, retirement in the year 2014, with 10 more years of service left. The reason for me taking early retirement is I wanted to get into active training and development. And ever since I left the bank, I had been involved with active training and development, primarily in the finance sector. I had been traveling to Nepal. I had been coming to Nepal since 2017. And as I talk today, I have, when I reflect upon my past 10 years, I see that I have been training people in Nepal, particularly in the banking industry, and I have trained almost every bank. I have given trainings to employees of almost every commercial, A-class commercial, B-class commercial, C-class banks, and recently I am also getting into trainings with some of the leading finance companies of Nepal.
Can you tell me your experience banking industrial?
You want my experience, training experience in connection to Nepal?
Yes.
Okay. See, as I told you, I had been training people from the banking industry in Nepal since 2017. And what I have come across is that it's not that Nepal does not have the technology, it's not that Nepal does not have the resources. They have wonderful people, they have wonderful technologies. They are at par with almost every country in the world in terms of modern banking facilities and technologies and service. But it's not very structured. That's what I wanted to tell you. A lot of work has to be done in structuring the resources that are currently available with the Nepalese banking industry. To give you an example, I can tell you, I can relate. When I conduct training sessions across Nepal, I have given trainings across the length and breadth of Nepal. I have traveled to places like Nepalganj, Butwal, Birtamor, Bhadrapur. You name any station, any city, I had been there. I had been to Chitwan, I had been to Pokhara. So what has come across very prominently across all the trainings that I have been doing is that there is a complete lack of cohesiveness in terms of what is to be expected from the employees, what is the employees' expectation out of the company, where do they go in case where they find any problem. So it's not that they don't have the technology, it's not that they don't have the resources and means, but it's not put into properly in place so that it comes out with a very conclusive and desired results. So that's a very important thing, because today I still today find that the Nepalese industry, the banking industry, to be very honest, is following the pattern of performance appraisal. Now, performance appraisal used to be a process which used to get followed by banks, which has got discarded maybe about 10 years back. But it is still in practice in Nepal. And after discarding the performance appraisal process, the modern banking has emerged into something which is called Total Performance Management System, TPMS, right? Total Performance Management System, which is yet to get implemented in a country like Nepal, right? Nepalese industry, I have received feedback from employees of top commercial banks. Some of the top commercial banks, they say that the performance appraisal, is a one-time activity which gets conducted at the end of the financial year, and the employees are sent a form which they have to fill. giving their their performance ratings, and that is sent to the HR. And what happens to that after the appraisal form reaches back to HR is something which is not known to the employees. So there is a complete dichotomy, complete mismatch, communication gap. So I am an employee. If I am an employee, I have every right to know where do I stand in terms of my performance, and that can only be shared with me if I have a clear understanding of the visions, the goals, the missions, what is expected out of me. At the time of setting the objectives, or the time of setting the goals for the employees, only the numbers that needs to be achieved are shared. It is not. It's not about only numbers. If you look at the overall holistic approach of the employee and the organization, it is not numbers. Numbers is definitely a part of it, but it is not the only part of it. So along with numbers, there are other parameters that needs to be looked into. For example, there is a section on learning and development. So what is the employee doing, or what is the organization doing to help the employee come up the growth path, by giving trainings and development and providing facilities to develop the employees. So that is something which I think is not yet fully implemented across the banking industry, where the focus now needs to go.
Wow, sir, it's very nice. You have a lot of experience. Can you tell me about the TPMS?
Well, TPMS is the expanded form of TPMS is Total Performance Management System. It is not about one particular aspect of performance. It is about the holistic growth and development of the employee, that is employees concerned. It looks into the various aspects of the employee's life cycle hypothesis, and it tries to bring out the best from the employee in terms of his performance and his holistic development. So it is about it talks about it's a long process. It starts from the time of onboarding an employee into the company. The journey of TPMS starts from the time when the employee is onboarded. So how do you onboard an employee? How do you set the what is the job description? How do you match the job description of the employee with the mission and vision statement? What is the communication that is given down to the employee in terms of what is the expectation that the organization has in terms of his or her performance? What is the expectation that the employee also has from the organization in terms of his career aspirations, career goals? So all these aspects taken together is the complete holistic approach of TPMS, right? And this is something which has been implemented successfully across all the leading banks across all countries. It is being implemented across all industries, to be very specific, and and it has come out with excellent results. This concept of TPMS gives an opportunity for the organization to bond with the employee. It is a digression from the appraisal process. In the appraisal process, the organization just finds out whether you have done your numbers or whether you have not done your numbers. The TPMS is a digression. It says about whether you have done your numbers. If you have done, well done. If you have not done, why is it that you have not done, and how can I as an organization come in and help you so that you achieve your numbers? So it is in the interest of the organization as a whole that this process of TPMS should get implemented across all banks and financial institutions across the length and breadth of Nepal.
Next question, Vansar. How does TPMS aligns individual goals with organization objectives?
Well, see, as individuals, everybody has aspirations to grow, and so as the organization. The organization's ultimate objective is to grow. It has to become the leader in the market, So the organization's objectives is to have increased market share, to have increased profits, to have increased dividends for the shareholders. And similarly, the employees' expectation is also to grow. And so this is where the TPM comes into picture. They help, the organization tries to handhold the employee and explain the employee as to what is expected out of him and how he can get into the shoes of the organization for the betterment of the organization, how he can contribute positively towards the growth of the organization. The training and development has a very, very crucial role to play here, because it is the training and development, the training needs analysis needs to be done for the individual employees of the organization, and the identified areas of development needs to be highlighted. Discussions have to be taken place, and in the entire process of the implementation of the TPMS, communication plays a very, very key role, right? So it has to be open communication, because today what I have also observed in the Nepalese industries is that employees are not very comfortable to give their feedback about the organization because of the fear that they might get penalized by the top management. But that is not how you can grow. You have to open yourself, you have to invite feedback from the employees, you have to give feedback to the employees. Likewise, you can, by the process of give and take, you can grow.
I have next another question. What are the common challenges faced while implementing TPMS in Nepal organization?
I don't know, because I have not got a chance to implement TPMS in any of the organizations in Nepal till now. But I sincerely look forward to such opportunities. But going by my experience of conducting trainings, what I feel is that the decision to implement TPMS should come from the top, right? And there are many roadblocks to it, because it's a new concept that is going to be introduced. So there might be resistance in terms of getting it implemented. If it is not properly explained to the employees, people might feel scared that this is a process by which they are trying to find fault in me and trying to throw me out of the job. But believe me, TPMS is a process to help employees to grow. It is not a process to intimidate people and get themselves into a fear zone. So the entire process of TPMS has very structured. It's a very structured process. It starts with educating the employee, relating making the employees understand their job role. Job description plays a very, very important role for the employees. What exactly is the job that you are supposed to do? Why have you been hired? Most of the employees, I am afraid to say, most of the employees, they are not even aware about their job description properly, right? They know that they have to do a job, they know they have to perform, but what exactly is the expectation out of the job, right? For example, if I am in the sales role, and I know that I have to open so many accounts, but why am I opening so many accounts is a question that I need to ask to my employees, to my employer. And my employer should give me proper justification to make me understand the importance of this, so that I get, charged up and I perform to the fullest level of my potential. So it has a series of implications. So I don't know what exactly would be the challenges. Until and unless somebody actually gets into the job, it's very difficult to say. But given the understanding that I have, the experience that I have from conducting trainings across, what I feel is that you have to have an open mind to accept this new change as a welcome change, and you have to have a very free, common dialogue process. It should be an open door policy, and it should be excellent communication. Two-way communication is what is to be relied upon, and you should drive, the senior management should drive across this idea that this is a process which is getting implemented for the benefit of the organization and the employee as a whole. It is not something, it's not a fault-finding process. It is not a process to identify who is good and who is bad. It is a process to holistically development all the employees across the organization.
Nice, sir. I have another one question. How often should performance evaluation be conducted, annually and semi-annually?
term itself suggests it's a total performance management system. So it is a continuous process. As I told you at the beginning of our discussion today, that it's a digression from the age-old practice of appraisal. It's not an appraisal. Appraisal was an annual process, wherein at the end of the year, of the financial year or the calendar year, whichever year gets followed, the employer and the employee sits together to find out what has been achieved out of the targets that was given to the employees, and the employee comes out with various reasons for achieving the target or not achieving the target. That was an annual annual episode, annual event. But with total performance management system, it is definitely an annual performance system, but the process is a continuous feedback process. So you cannot ask the employee, or you are not sitting with the employee once in a year. Maybe you are sitting with the employee every week, and maybe you are sitting with the year every day. And it is the responsibility of the employer to handhold the employee to make him or her achieve the targets. So it's a continuous process. It's not divided into watertight compartments of months, weeks, years, 6 months. It's not like that. So it's a target, that this is the target that you have to achieve. These are the numbers that you have to achieve. These are the qualitative targets that you have to achieve. This is the quantitative numbers that you have to achieve. And how you are achieving it is getting monitored regularly, at regular intervals. So it depends upon the organization. It depends upon the supervisor or the leader of that team, how he wants to do it. If he wants to sit with his or her team every day, if time permits, fine. Normally it is a monthly process, but it depends. There is no fixed rule as to that you have to give a feedback every day or every 2 days. But it's a continuous feedback process, which is a constructive feedback, to give the employee an opportunity to learn from the mistakes that he or she is doing and rectify them and move forward.
Okay, sir, that's nice. What is your suggestion for us to conduct this program for bank, insurance, and corporate sector?
Well, this is not a suggestion. This is the need of the hour. This is the need of the hour. It has to be implemented across all organizations, irrespective of whether they are in the banking industry, they are in the insurance industry, they are in the finance industry, they are in the automobile industry. Irrespective of the industry, irrespective of the sector in which they belong to, TPM has become the order of the day, right? So you cannot just expect people to perform without the proper hand-holding and guidance and the training and development and the holistic approach which TPM brings into play. So my sincere suggestion would be that irrespective of the organization size, irrespective of the number of employees that the organization has, TPM is must for every organization, given the competitive environment of today's economy.
Thank you for this nice conversation. You are welcome to Nepal always. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.